Today, I want to share with you some tips that are kind of hidden, kind of hacks that you can use in Call of Dragons. Now, many of you will know about some of these, but I guarantee you that most of you will at least learn one new thing in this video. So first, I'm going to talk about the Battle Pass. Now, this is farmable in the quest here, and obviously you can see here that you will be able to get a lot of rewards all the way to level 80. Now, of course, this is a spender kind of thing when you unlock the bottom tier, which is where all the rewards really are. But my tip here is that you actually don't need to buy Light's Inspiration at all. It is actually not really worth it in any way. You are able to get to level 80 in every season just by using this one. You should be able, by doing your weekly and your seasonal, you will then be having just enough points. You'll get a few level higher than 80. I have actually never bought the second bundle since the first season because you're paying basically 10 bucks or 14 in my case for 3,000 gem VIP points, which are basically useless at some point in the game, and 5 keys. For 10 bucks, you can get much more than that in any packs, and the rest you get no matter what, whether you buy this one or this one. So this is just one tip. You really don't need to buy the extra here. It's just not giving you much value at all for your money. It makes it go faster by 20 level and gives you 20% more XP, but you don't need those levels. And when you do get level 80, after level 80, you get like extra rewards, and the extra rewards you get afterwards are actually really bad. You basically get no reward whatsoever. It's super low value. So this is just a way to save a little bit of money if you're a spender, because there really is not much point at all to buy the big bundle here. Next, we're going to talk about Alliance credits. So this is what you find here in the store at the top. It is the currency. I have 9 million of them, and you can see here, obviously, you can buy a lot of stuff with that. One tip is territorial relocation is the really only valuable thing you can buy with this. It's not worth buying anything else. You should be saving these alliance credits in every situation you can, and you really shouldn't even be spending on territorial relocation because of the next patch, which will introduce passports to change servers. So you should be saving up all of these as much as you can, but if you are going to be spending them, just focus on territorial relocation, because that is what you will be needing the most in the game, and it will save you basically 300 gems every time, because that's what it costs in the VIP store. You can also buy like a rename and stuff, but if you want to rename, that's kind of like the easiest way to buy it. But in any case, save those as much as you can, because you will need them for passport, for transferring servers. We don't know exactly details yet, but we do know it is coming. Now, the way to earn these guys is going to be by helping your alliance. So this is something that can be a bit tricky when you get to alliance where everybody has maxed everything out. You do need to log on regularly every day so that you can click that little button and get your 10,000 as you can, of course. Because this is going to be the only way to farm them consistently, and then the other way will be by donating in tech here, which will give you some of that. So really be active in your alliance. Try and get your 10,000 every day if you can. As you can see, I even can't, because there is no one building or researching anything in TFS anymore, almost. But in any case, this is really important. This currency is going to be very valuable. If you're early in the game, start saving now. Just forget it exists and save it for the next year or two, even if you have to. Or many months, as you will need a lot of it if the experience is like Rise of Kingdom. Now, my next tip is about Keybinds. Now, a lot of people who play on the PC still don't use these. This is how you can move between armies like this. As you can see, you can create control groups. I made a full video about this, so if you're interested, you can check it out. But really, you can see if I press Control 1, 2, this guy becomes in the control group. Then I press that button twice. I zoom to him. This one is Control 3. This is 2. I want to put this one whack 1. So you can switch between your armies so easily. You can also move them like this however you want. And you'll see it's so easy. You go here. Oh, I want to bring my 1 and 2 here. Oh, I want to go here. Let's bring my 3 back here. You stop and you go back to base. All keybinds. Stopping is S. Back is D. You're in trouble. Your game's lagging. You press D on everything. It doesn't matter. You can also control A and do everything. Like you can see all my troops were selected. If I control A here, this is basically all my units. It's all stuff you can do in the option. There's key bindings for basically every action, and in PvP it makes a huge difference. Right clicking around instead of dragging your troops always, or dragging from here, just right click, so much faster. Obviously there's so many ways of playing the game. There's no wrong way, but this is something that I even didn't use for many months, even though I was playing on PC since day one. And then it really changed my life once I really started using keybinds. It's so much better to fight. You have so much more control, and you can make control groups, back everybody at once. There is so much ease of play that you can do with keybinds, so I really recommend you look into them because it will really make your gameplay and your PvP experience much better. Next, when we're in the end of a season, which is what many people are coming close to, because the new servers, the new season, Home Kingdom, is all going to start pretty soon. You have a few ways of getting a lot of extremely good value, especially if you're a spender or if you have a lot of gems. Of course, the VIP store is one of the best value in the game for a lot of free stuff, including CP and speed ups and medals even. But also, if you go here, 24-hour speed up, mana, which is really, really big for whales, and then the G3 hero tokens. This is basically the highest value item in the store because it's current season, and obviously you do need as many as you want or as many as you can because of how strong new heroes are. So this is 20,000 gems a week, which is obviously needing to be a somewhat level of a spender, but you don't have to be a high spender to achieve that either, especially not when you're in an alliance like TFS, who gives you thousands of gems every week from people buying chests. So this is going to be very, very important. At the end of a season, this store will reset. So it resets every Sunday, but it also resets when a new season begins. So often, if a season resets at another day than Sunday, you'll be able to get 2 VIP store in a week. So this is a very valuable tip because it will give you a lot of free stuff, especially if you're a spender. So do watch out for that. This is something that is very important and that I have found out a lot of players actually miss out on because they don't realize, oh, it reset twice and they bought it basically once, or they just, oh, I'll buy it later, another day, whatever. And then they forget and then it resets and they miss an entire full store week. Because last time, for example, my last season, there was basically, I think, 20 hours left on the store when it reset, which means I bought the whole thing and 20 hours later I got a full new store because the season started. So really is a very high value reward you can get here by simply paying attention. Now, speaking of reset, there is also the scrap store. So I found out recently that someone in my alliance had not even ever known that the scrap store existed. We won't name names, but many people know who that is. So this is an extremely high value store once you've maxed out all your heroes, because all of this becomes scrap that you really don't need. So you can just scrap it all and then you'll get all these tokens, of course. And with this, you'll be able to buy gold star legendary medals, which is the highest value in the store. You must always buy this first and keep yourself enough coins to buy the next week. You don't want to go and buy all the gold keys and then next week you have nothing to trade in and you don't have enough coins. These legendary medals are very, very high value, very hard to get even as a spender, and you need hundreds of them, so you must buy those every week. And then if you have extra, you can buy a few gold keys. Like I have obviously quite a lot of extra, so it's not that big of a deal, but still watch out because, you know, you do not have enough of this to get a whole store every week. Other than that, of course, the forge artifact keys, this is the only way you can buy them without spending money or gems, and they are going to be free, 5 a week. You will be basically turning scrap artifact items, which obviously you will have a lot of extra eventually in the game, not in the early game, but still you will have some extras that you must try and purchase these 5 every week. Now this also resets every season, so if it is like the VIP store, you can do the same thing. You can buy 5 and then next week 5 again. There are weeks where this artifact keys are not in the store. I don't think I've seen it happen too often recently. It was more in the beginning of the game, but in any case, when it's there, check it out every Sunday, buy them, as well as anything that resets the game like a season or a big patch. This is going to be something that you will watch out for because obviously these are high value for the most gem costing event in the entire game, the Forge of Light, which also is the way to get new artifacts. So it's very, very hard to get these keys in any other way. The next thing I want to talk about is the Merit Store. Now, the Merit Store opens up early in the season, and there is one thing here, obviously, that's huge value, like these elixirs, which is the #1 thing you should be buying, but as well as speed ups and other stuff, and pet skills, which can grant you a lot of free coins every week. Now, why I'm talking about this is because this is a store that resets also quite regularly in the season. So obviously, usually you'll spend the entire weekly supply and then reset that store once and then buy everything else, because this is twice a week basically. And then the daily you'll do every day and try and buy all of these where you can. Obviously, I don't even need them right now, but then you'll reset it and then you'll buy, you know, everything else that you want here that is good, like speed ups and stuff like that. Now, once you have done this, of course, once you will be, okay, I'm done for the day. But if we come and take a look in the Augur Stones, we'll see here that basically once the basic Merit Store release, then you will be able to do the weekly thing, whatever. But then if you go a few days later, basically, or a week or something, you have the Motherland's Call, which unlocks the standard Merit Store. So when you are basically on this day or on this day, it means that your Merit Store will reset to brand new. You will have an opportunity here just basically the day before to buy out the merit store, and then the next day it will have be refreshed for you, even if it's supposed to refresh once a week. This event is a reset and makes the store refresh for you. Now, you will also find another one of these events right here when the premium merit store comes out, which is basically where I am right now. So in 1 day and 20 hours, and then the next day after that, when this is over, we'll have the merit store, which will happen basically at the beginning of a week, just after the reset. So this is going to mean that I'm going to be able to come in my merit store, buy out everything here, buy out everything here. Don't refresh because that is not something that resets. But then the next day, the entire store will be brand new again. So it's going to be very important to work around that. It can make a massive difference in the season when you get 2 or 3 full weekly restores for yourself, because it will allow you to have a lot more elixirs and be able to do a lot more. But on top of that, you will also get better rewards in the future store. So it will be recommended that you don't do the reset until you have the premium version of the store. So when you are in the basic and it goes to standard, or right now, like I'm in standard, it's going to premium. This means the premium store is going to have much better reward. So next week, when my reset happens, I will empty out this store, but I will not refresh until the premium comes out. So it's a bit complex, but really, this is just another reset that allows you to buy this entire supply a few more times per season. And you can time it well, and it will grant you hundreds of thousands of more free healing basically through these elixir. Now, one of my last tips is going to be about Dragon Trail. Now, there's a few things I want to talk about here. First, it is going to be the store here. Of course, eventually, when you have max in this, which I have and many people have by now, you will not be needing to buy this anymore. But one thing that people don't know is that the reset here for the store is the currency is basically this currency. So it's not a special currency, or it's not gold, it's not gems, it's the currency of the Dragon Trail, which is a currency that has absolutely no value in the game other than buying what's in this store. So my recommendation here is to hunt for these. So every day when you have these points, you don't need in this anymore, or even if you do need in this but you need these more, it doesn't matter, it's still going to be really high value. You will be basically buying all of the legendary medals you can with what you can afford, and then refreshing until you find more and basically buy everything you can, because again, this is incredibly high value in this game. Legendary medals, you will never have enough. You can 6-star all your heroes and it will be always a buff for yourself, and you will never be able to 6-star all your legendary heroes because there is just so high of a cost. So this is something, refresh, don't be scared of refreshing. It's not gems, it's really low, 200 out of 16,000, it's nothing. You can refresh the whole time, it's a few hundred, a few thousand total, it's really nothing. And there is a lot of gold medals here that you'll be able to find that way. So it really is important. Now, other than that is, again, when we're talking about season refresh, you will see here that this is going to be able to stack for 24 hours, which means that 24 hours before a new season refresh, do not claim this. Obviously, we're not at this moment right now. I can claim it, but I will be at this moment shortly. And when I am, this means that in 24 hours, you'll have basically 24 times this 3,500 XP, which is still a few tens of thousands of XP to kickstart your new server and level up your heroes. Now, one of my last tip is going to be about gathering in Alliance territory. Now, this is something that not many people know, I think, by now, because it's not something that's very obvious in this game as opposed to Rise of Kingdom, where the buff is shown more clearly. But when you gather in your own territory, so when it's in between your territory, now there's a season talent that allows you to be invulnerable doing that, which is great. But not only that, but you get a 25% buff to gathering, as well as you're giving resources to your alliance. So if you click on Alliance Tower and you click here, you will see the buff is basically shown here. So when inside Alliance territory, members gather speed is 25%, except for gems. 25% if you're a farmer or gatherer. This is really big. So it's really important that if you are into gathering, but also in order to help your alliance in general, gathering in your own territory is a huge buff. Now, my last tip is going to be about Plutomall. I've made a full video on Plutomall before. Now, many people ask if it's legit. It is legit, but also you can find the URL to this website on their official website, on their Discord. It is not something that is hard to find, and you can get it from an official source so that you know you have the right website. It will allow you to purchase these tickets that then you can use in the game for bundles of equivalent value. And you will be able to get basically anything in the game that has a value, including buying gems directly and stuff like that. But you will get basically 10% free rewards from doing that. So you save 10% on Plutomall, and you also save on taxes. And then for them, the developers, they don't have to pay a fee to Apple or Google stores, which is a massive, like 40% fee, I think. So it's a win-win for the devs, and for you, you get quite a lot more value. And it is a legit website. I can vouch for it. The devs can vouch for it. I can guarantee you I've purchased on it many times, so I have most of my alliance. So this is something that you should really look into if you're a spender. Now, if you have any more tips in this game that I haven't covered and that you think might be hidden or not known, feel free to share in the comments, as this would be the whole purpose of this video, is just to share this knowledge with as many people as possible. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.